Hey everyone, it's John here from Untitled Hockey, back with another video, and this video is going to be about the Buffalo Sabres. Now with the 2014 format, they will be missing the playoffs, and it's a 9-year drought. The first 5 seasons with Jack Eichel, missing the playoffs, and a 9-year drought. So, obviously super disappointing. Jack Eichel's getting frustrated, the organization's getting frustrated, fans are getting frustrated. So, I'm making this video to show 5 potential moves. Again, it's not going to really center on specific players, but 5 different moves that they should and could make to improve this team and help out Jack Eichel ultimately. So if you are here and you're new to the channel, I do really appreciate all the new subscribers. Smash that like button and leave your thoughts in the comment section below. I will get to your comments. Let's go over the 5 moves that the Buffalo Sabres could make, starting with acquiring an experienced secondary scoring player. So through a trade, I already looked at Phil Kessel. I think Kessel could be an option. It's one of those things with the Arizona Coyotes. Kessel is older, and he's on the last couple of years of his deal, I believe. And it's one of those things, he could use a change of scenery, and playing with a star player like Eichel could really help him. One of the Predators forward, so I was thinking maybe like, again, Ryan Johansson, that cap hit, but they've got Johansson and Duchesne there. Victor Arvidsson didn't have a great year, but maybe that's an option. I'll get to him, but Mikael Granlund's a pending UFA. And, of course, a guy like Kyle Turris is interesting for me because the Buffalo Sabres have a couple risky contracts. And the Buffalo Sabres don't really have a number 2 center. So maybe Kyle Turris getting a different change of scenery, I would say, could help him. So, again, we'll look into that. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, of course, not really a scorer, but, again, he would help that secondary scoring. And then Tomas Hertl, I just think with Hertl, this one's probably a hot take along with Patrick Laine right there. I think those are both hot takes. But if the Buffalo Sabres were trying to go for that huge move to, obviously, I think, make Jack Eichel happy and give him a guy that he can either help him on his line or the second line. I think that could be that huge move that Botterill could make to prove himself. Veteran defensemen, specifically possibly on that left side. I think for guys like Jake Gardiner, Ryan Murray, they could be cheaper options. I think Jonas Brodin is a very consistent defenseman that they could target. TJ Brody would be through free agency potentially. And 2 hot takes, Marc-Edouard Vlasic and Brent Seabrook. So Brent Seabrook, again, it would be a bad contract going to the Blackhawks. Kyle Okposo would be that contract, in my opinion. And Marc-Edouard Vlasic, again, $8 million, so he's getting older. That contract's going to be really risky on the second half. So I do think, again, a risky contract going back. But Vlasic's still, I would say, a top 4 defenseman, in my opinion, so he could improve that team. But again, if I'm looking at that top 4, Gardner, Murray, Brody, Brodin, could all be options, and I could really see one of those guys going to the Sabres this offseason. All right, RFA trade or offer sheet. Some of these are clear hot takes, but we have to go over them. So Pierre-Luc Dubois could be an option. I do think Matthew Barzal, that contract is probably going to be more tougher to figure out. I feel like Dubois, if he wants to stay in Columbus or if the opportunity's there, I feel like they're going to get a contract going pretty quickly. But for Barzal, there's going to be a lot of question marks there. The interesting one for me would be Cirelli and Sergachev. Both in the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Lightning are going to be tight against the cap, especially if the cap doesn't move. So if I'm looking at the Lightning, I think one of the teams, I mean, it doesn't have to be the Buffalo Sabres, but any team could cap strap that team. So Cirelli, Sergachev, maybe for an offer sheet. Mantha's an RFA. Strome will be an RFA, and Kevin Labanc will be an RFA. Labanc's a really interesting one. I feel like that wouldn't be too expensive, so maybe the Buffalo Sabres look into that. UFA forwards. All right, so there's not a lot of forwards. I would say there's actually a decent amount of defense options, but for forward options, these are probably the 6 main top 6 options. And I already talked about Mikael Granlund, but Taylor Hall, Mike Hoffman, Evgeny Dadonov, and Tyler Toffoli as well. I think, you know what, it's probably unlikely you're going for Taylor Hall. I would say they're going to inquire about him, but for Taylor Hall, I don't know if he's going to go to Buffalo, maybe team up with Eichel. Hoffman, Dadonov, I'm not too sure. I feel like out of those 3, maybe Dadonov's the most likely. Toffoli could be a really interesting one, but I feel like Granlund could be the combination of, I mean, he's very versatile, and he had somewhat of an off year, but then he was heating up towards the end, and it wouldn't be a crazy contract to commit to. All right, now starting goalie. So this is a situation where the Buffalo Sabres have Carter Hutton, they have Linus Ullmark. I think Ullmark obviously had the better year than Hutton. If I'm looking at these options, there are some more realistic. I mean, if I'm looking at Braden Holtby, I think it's a matter of where Holtby's choosing and if he can take a little bit of a cut because, again, he's in his 30s now, and if the cap doesn't move, he's going to be restricted to options if he wants to get paid. Jacob Markstrom could be an interesting one, but I feel like if Markstrom leaves the Canucks, it's to a for sure playoff team that needs his services. But I do think that he could go elsewhere. Alexander Georgiev would probably be a trade. I can't see that being an offer sheet. Murray, Jari, both pending RFAs as well, so that's interesting. Maybe the Penguins move on from one of them. Martin Jones, that's an interesting one because I feel like for some people that would be a cap dump, but I feel like Martin Jones can still be a decent goalie. So maybe the Buffalo Sabres are able to, give them an asset, but also send a contract their way. That could be interesting. And Antti Ranta, I only put him there because I do think there could be something there with the Coyotes. Again, I feel like the Coyotes want to stick with that tandem. It worked when they were healthy, Kemper and Ranta. But if they are committing to Kemper, maybe Ranta wants a starting job, and that could be with the Buffalo Sabres. So let me know what you think. I think these moves could happen. Going after a starting goalie, going after secondary scoring in the free agent market, or looking at an RFA, I think those could happen. And if we're talking about a veteran defenseman, I was including maybe bigger fish there. Maybe it's a lower end. If I could throw out a name on the top of my head right now, Ron Hainsey, but maybe Hainsey retires. But that kind of player potentially for the Sabres to jump in, mentor the younger guys, Yogi Haru, Dahlin, while also getting that small cap hit and not playing that much, but sometimes jumping in on the penalty kill. I think that could be a valued signing by the Buffalo Sabres, a guy like that. So keep that in mind. I'm going to be making another video, I think, for the situation of Jack Eichel. We'll have to see what happens. If Botterill can make some moves and this team can get better, I think with what Eichel has said, he wants to commit to this team. And signing a contract like that just doesn't come with anything. I think he wants to be a Buffalo Sabre long term and lead this team to something. But the thing is, if he gets fed up and gets so frustrated, there's maybe a thing where Eichel goes, I don't want to be here anymore. Again, I think that's more on the unlikely side. I think he will stay with the Buffalo Sabres, and I think they'll do whatever they can to make him happy. And they'll try to make the situation better, but I'm going to make a video about it, so I'm going to link it after I post it. Again, this video is being posted first, then that video will be posted after, and I would suggest watching both and kind of give me your thoughts. So if you are new, please subscribe, smash that like button. This was John from Hot Take Hockey. Have a good one. Peace out.